today after nearly 15 years. As a matter of fact, when they announced that we were Rising Stars, Gina asked Richard Wright, "Isn't there an expiration date on that award?" And when I asked Gina to marry me, I asked her one question: do you want to live an ordinary life or an extraordinary life? What do you think? This is real quick. This is the fruit of a seed that was planted in our hearts more than 14 years ago.
So I did get started on the products in college. I did get the 15 pounds, and somebody else is 15 too. Every one of you have come up to me and said that you use that line. I love that. And so Buddy got started about a year after I got started, and he called me up out of the blue one day and said, "Hey, I want to take you on a date." And I said, "Okay, meet me at this meeting and then we'll go out to dinner afterwards." Well, it just so happened to be a business opportunity meeting. What? The recruiting was different back then. And so, but what he saw a stay-at-home mom making $10,000 a month. He saw Danny McDaniel talking about how to make money, and he saw Todd Cash talking about strength and leadership, and he always knew he wanted to be a part of AdvoCare. So timing and circumstances didn't happen for us until 10 years later. We got married, we had life, moved across the country. Buddy went back active duty in the military, and we had our first baby. And so, you know, we were in this conversation one night that he was going to take active duty orders to Hawaii, and I was going to quit my full-time job and become a full-time mom. And you guys, I love my kids, I do, but I lost my whole identity in that moment because all I knew was to climb the corporate ladder. And so what I remembered is that our friends, Paul and Kathy Darden, made $97,000 their first year in AdvoCare. And I thought to myself, if I could just do half of that, I didn't even need all of that, then I could match my corporate income, I could support my husband, and I could be a flexible mom all at the same time. And so we did start taking AdvoCare's Debt Buster system, the couple $100 we were making per month. We downsized our life, and we paid off $65,000 to become debt-free. And that was, you bet, you guys, that was the first time in our married life that I felt like we were actually getting ahead. And it also gave me some identity back because that next full year we made $33,000, which matched my corporate income. And that was awesome. But the reality of our world, or the reality of my world, was I was still sleeping in an empty bed. And his duties were taking him away from me. I mean, I married him, so I never had to go home, you guys. And so when we were living life over Skype, can we get that picture up, please? We were living life over Skype, and this was just capturing a little bit of our world. That was Buddy. It was Christmas 2011. He was watching the kids. That was numerous holidays just like that. And I could have put all our pictures up there, but at the same time, that evening, I said, "Hey, is this what the next 10 years of our life is going to look like?" Because I had to get myself prepared in my mind, is what it came down to. And he said, "You know what? No, because if AdvoCare matched your income, what if it can match mine too?" And at the same time, I was reading a book called Rhinoceros Success. And the author says, write down on a Post-it note your preferred future as it has already happened. And so I wrote it down right there. Here we are at the end of Buddy's orders, March 2013. That was Christmas 2011 when I wrote this. And as AdvoCare Diamond distributors, Buddy has the freedom to choose. See, we never built AdvoCare because we were desperate for it. We built AdvoCare so that we could have choices. And I never wanted my husband to be attached to the military because of finances.
And you guys, it never gets easier for me to look at that picture, because what that picture doesn't tell you is that not long after it was snapped, I had to turn the lights off in my barracks room because I didn't want my wife and kids to see me crying on Christmas morning. And that night, I drew a line in the sand. I said, no more. I can't do this for the next 10 years. Leave my wife to be a single mom by default, and my children wondering if Daddy was coming home. So when I got home, we got really intentional. We poured gas on the fire. And we read that Rhino statement to each other every morning and every night. And 14 months later, there's an all too familiar scene in our house. I was in my flight suit. I had my luggage in tow, and my little girl asked me, "Daddy, are you coming home?" And I said, "You bet I am, baby. And soon, Daddy's going to stay home and play with you every day." And that summer, Jenny Donnelly said, "Whatever you've been believing, it's already happened." And Gina and I, we looked at each other and we knew. Because we put the work in and we knew that it had already happened. And that successful August 2013, I was still serving on active duty in the United States Navy when we walked out and earned our Diamond Leadership Pin. And now we get to stay home and defend freedom every day together. So I just want to ask you guys, what are you believing? What are you pouring your heart and soul into? Because I'll tell you, it doesn't matter around here where you've been. It only matters where you're going. And for those of you like us who've been around the scene for a little while, just trust me when I say it's not going to take you near as long to get where you're going as it's taking you to get where you are. So stick and stay around here. Do the work. We believe in you guys, and you can do this. God bless.